Sripada Sharanam Prapadhye. Chapter 23. Explanation of the esoteric significance of Shiva worship. The greatness of a Shiva Yogi's devotion. The teachings of Sripada to him. The greatness of a Shiva Yogi's devotion. The teachings of Sripada to him. When I was about to move from the opposite bank of the Krishna river to Kurungadda, I came across a noble Vaishya named Dharmagupta. He was also coming to Kurungadda for the darshan of Sripada. During the conversation, I learned that he was related to Sri Venkatappaya Sresti of Pitikapuram. There was no end to my astonishment. All the devotees of Sripada Srivallabha I met thus far narrated his divine history, leelas, miracles, and amazing incidents. There is a speciality in the wonderful incidents they narrated. Each of them told only a few incidents that happened in a particular year of Sripada's life. Those incidents were not related to each other and they appeared to be a wonder of wonders. They were very strange matters unheard of by me till then. Till now, I was taught by his devotees about his divine place in an orderly way, covering a period of 10 years in the life of Sripada. I thought that Dharmagupta may narrate some events that took place in the 11th year of Sripada. Sripada does his leelas every moment. In the meantime, Dharmagupta began to narrate, Sir Shankara Bhatt, I am a devotee of Shiva. When Sripada was 11 years old, a Shiva Yogi came to Pitikapuram. He was a worthy man. He used to collect alms in his hands. He did not have any bag, plate, or any vessel with him. He appeared like a lunatic to the onlookers. He first came to the temple of Sri Kukuteshwara. On seeing his mad appearance and dust-coated figure, the temple priest did not allow him to enter into the temple. He was an avaduta without body consciousness. He was repeatedly chanting the Shiva Panchakshari mantra, the 5-syllabled Shiva mantra, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. I was going to the house of Sri Venkatappaya Sresti riding a horse. Sri Venkatappaya Sresti was related to me as a brother-in-law. I was in the habitat of visiting the Sri Kukuteshwara temple on my way. As I was a prominent Vaishya, the priest in the temple performed a grand puja in my name on that day. My habit was to give them liberal sambhavanas, alms distributed among Brahmins. I gave 5 varahas to the priest as sambhavana. They distributed it among themselves. They submitted their financial difficulties, troubles, and problems to me. They affirmed that the support of noble Vaishyas like me was very essential for the protection of Sanatana Dharma. Suddenly, the Shiva Yogi came in rushing into the temple like a blowing wind. Along with him, 2 cobras also entered the temple. On seeing this, the priest started sweating profusely with fear. The Shiva Yogi said, You priest, Don't be afraid. These are ornaments for Kukuteshwara, whom we adore. These cobras are eager to embrace Kukuteshwara just as children desire to embrace their father. They are like our brothers. It is a great sin to fear, to run away, or to kill our brothers on seeing them. They are attracted here by the special puja performed by the priest. Let us worship Kukuteshwara, who wears serpents as ornaments, with more care and diligence. Sing Namaka and Chamaka mantras specially for Shiva with a good voice and with a good melody. The priests were at a loss for what to do. The priest had some psychopaths among them. They used to say many words of flattery to please rich persons among devotees, provided they gave generous donations to the priest. One of the priests in Pitikapuram, named Surya Chandra Shastri, was not only a good scholar but also a sincere and strict observer of religious ceremonies. He had great devotion towards Sripada. He remembered Sripada and began to recite Namaka and Chamaka with a good voice and a good melody. The visiting cobras also waved their hoods in tune with the melodious rhythm and displayed their happiness. Surya Chandra Shastri brought the Shiva Yogi to the house of Sri Babanarya. A sumptuous meal was given to the satisfaction of the Shiva Yogi. Afterwards, the Shiva Yogi had the darshan of Sripada. Sripada granted him a vision as Shiva Shakti Swarupa. The Shiva Yogi was in a state of samadhi for 3 days. After 3 days, Sripada fed that Shiva Yogi food with his divine hands. Then he explained very succinctly, "My dear, perform the religious rituals mentioned in Sanatana Dharma and be liberated. Content of the Puranas is neither fiction nor lies. The general meaning of the Puranas is different from their secret hidden meaning. Only for those spiritual aspirants who observe rigorous spiritual discipline, the inner meanings and profound esoteric secrets of the Puranas will flash in their mental horizon. Among the sun and the moon, who causes seasons. The sun represents the supreme self and the moon represents the mind. Only when the effulgence of the sun, representing the super self, and the moon, representing the mind, combine, the activity of the creation occurs. Amavasya, new moon, stands for illusion. This Maya at first creates potencies called Vashuvus, devas of materialization. By adding degrees of light in the moon and again merging them in itself, Maya. Just as Maya is transmitting the effulgence of Paramatma into the form of the mental moon, the rays of the sun are transmitted into the moon. Even though Maya and Amavasya are inert forms, the world that originated on account of them has a combination of intellectual and inert traits due to its nearness to the intellectual influence. Just as the spring season is the basis for sprouting in nature's cycle, a woman's menstrual cycle is the basis for the birth of children. The desire of Brahmagnana will only exist in the progeny that originated from a female. The menstrual cycle in the females is said to be opposing Brahma, the creator. So, It is said by the Pandits that it was generated by Brahmahatya, the killing of a Brahmin. As the secrets of the Vedas are shrouded in Chandasu, science of the use of syllables and words in verses, they are called Chandasa. Since the cycle is not straight and has a crude quality to it, a woman in her menstrual cycle is kept at a distance for 3 days. Heaven is a lustrous sphere having a natural brilliance. The earth of the mortals is a place of deaths and births. All the nether worlds are illuminated by the sunlight. Therefore, they are called Prushnulu. All the Patalas, seven netherworlds, have divine potentates like Jataveda, epithet for Agni Deva and others. The earth where we live is before the Patalas. Fire is its presiding deity. All these eight divine potentates, rulers, are called Ashtavasubhus. They are called Vasuvus because they get light from the sun. The airy spaces between these eight spheres are called the seven seas. Sage Yechya remarked that air is also symbolized as sea. Ordinary people consider seven seas as forms of water, but it is not correct. The greatness of Shiva, the forms of Shiva in the 11 Shiva kshetras in Andhra Pradesh. Shiva is the personification of the 11 Rudras, lords of cosmic will and vibration. There are 11 Shiva kshetras in Andhra Pradesh. Visiting them will confer great benefit. They are Nagareshwara in Bruhatshilanagar, Bankapura, Mallikarjuna in Srisalem, Bhimeshwara in Draksharama, Ramalingeshwara in Shirarama, Amaralingeshwara in Amaravati, Kotipalli Someshwara in Kotipalli, Kukkuteshwara in Pitikapuram, Mahanandeshwara in Mahanandi, Kaleshwara in Kaleshwaram, Kalahasteshwara in Sri Kalahasti, Tripurantakeshwara in Tripurantakam. In reality, there is no image for Shiva. The Shiva Lingam is nothing but the form of Jyoti glowing in all souls. The Spatika Lingam, crystal lingam, is the purity enshrined in the form of a pure mind, achieved after Siddhi, perfection. Rudra, who helps us to bestow knowledge to the brain encased in our head, is called Kapali. The nerves that spread from the brain downwards up to the neck are called Rudrajadas. Shiva, in the form of a Hatha Yogi, is called Lakulisa. Shiva goes begging alms, and through it he takes away the sins of the souls. Shiva dances in ecstasy in tune with the great vibrations of the musical, rhythmic creation, sustenance, and liquidation processes. Therefore, Shiva is called Nataraja. Shiva can also grant salvation, which brings the greatest bliss. Chit means consciousness, Ambara means sky or cloth. Chidambara is the one who is in the form of sky. The sky which you behold in this vast universe is the form of Rudra. The 12 Jyotirlinga represent the 12 signs of the zodiac. So Shiva is time personified. Eight directions are the eight embodiments of the form of Chidakasha. The five elements are his five faces. The five sensory organs, the five functional organs, and the mind put together become 11 Rudra potencies. They are called Ekadasha Rudras. The image of Uma Maheshwara is a perennial, benevolent, and beautiful form. The form of Tripurantaka is the one that destroys the three qualities. The wisdom eye is the third eye. During profound peaceful meditation in the Samadhi state, the holiness that constantly flows out is the very holy Mother Ganges, that is in the coils of the hair on the head of Lord Shiva. The form of the primeval couple Shiva Parvati is the zodiacal sign Mithuna, Gemini. When the star Ardra constellation shines in the sky, Shiva grants his darshan. One has to cross the Vrushabha zodiacal sign Taurus before reaching Mithuna sign. That Vrishabha is Nandishvara, that is the personification of Dharma. The light that shines between the eyebrows is the crescent moon that adorns the forehead. On account of the yogic state, lust is conquered. The difference between the male and female genders is destroyed and a unified position is reached. That position is the form of Ardhanarishvara. During the time of Lingodbhava, emergence of the lingam, a camphor flame sparkles as a divine light in the thousand-petaled Sahasra Chakra. Lingam means the subtle body hidden in the gross body. The Vedas affirm that it shines like a light. The secrets of Shiva's worship can only be known by a regular, disciplined practice and the grace of a guru. Just as there is the physical Pitikapuram, there is another golden Pitikapuram that is formed out of heavenly illumination, that is constructed by my consciousness. Those devotees and wise men who constantly remember me can know about it from experience. Irrespective of the great distances where they reside, they will become residents of the golden Pitikapuram. I am always easily accessible to them. The priest you saw in the Kukuteshwara temple in physical Pitikapuram are born from the origin of Pramadaganas, servants of Shiva. There are many hordes of devils, ghosts, and spirits. For one who practices yoga or worships Sripada Srivallabha, those devils and ghosts will create disturbances. Those who get over those obstacles are indeed fortunate. I told many a time that a Mahasamsthan would be established in the house of my maternal grandfather. My will is very efficacious. Like rows of ants, millions of devotees and groups of yogis will visit my samsthan. I only will decide who, when, how many, and in what mode they will come. It is utterly false to think that simply because they are residents of Pitikapuram, they can come to the Sripada Srivallabha Samsthan and have darshan. My grace showers ambrosia on worthy ones. It will be like a mirage to unworthy ones. Sripada Rajam Sharanam Prapadhye.